Welcome back to Silent Coded. Here's a staggering thought. Over 90% of all human communication happens without a single word being spoken. That means a woman could be broadcasting her interest loud and clear, and you might be completely missing the broadcast, not because you're not paying attention, but because you don't know which frequencies to tune into. By the time we wrap up this session, you'll have a razor-sharp understanding of the signals women send when they're genuinely attracted to you. Even better, you'll know exactly how to respond with poise and self-assurance. And make sure you stay until the very end because I've got a bonus insight that most men never stumble upon. One that separates those who naturally draw women toward them from those who are left perpetually scratching their heads, wondering what went wrong. Welcome to Stoic Coded, your destination for real, relatable guidance on navigating the beautiful complexities of love, connection, and relationships. Sign 1. Heightened awareness of your presence. When a woman is attracted to you, her awareness of your presence intensifies, sometimes without her even realizing it's happening. This isn't just about her looking your way. It's about the frequency and subtlety with which she does it. Picture this. You walk into a cafe and she glances up. Ordinary enough, but then a few minutes later, she does it again. Maybe she adjusts her posture, tucks a strand of hair behind her ear, or subtly straightens her back as if unconsciously preparing herself to be noticed. That's her brain registering your presence on a deeper level. Psychologists call this selective attention. It's the same reason you suddenly start spotting the car you just bought everywhere on the road. When something or someone becomes significant to you, your mind locks onto it. A study published in the journal Psychological Science found that attraction actually enhances our ability to notice and track a person's movements, even in a crowded room. So, if she seems unusually aware of where you are and what you're doing, chances are you're on her radar for more than just casual observation. Sign 2. The hair touch. Now, before you assume every woman who touches her hair is smitten with you, let's break this down properly. Women play with their hair for many reasons, but when it happens in the context of attraction, it's often entirely subconscious. Pay attention to when she does it. If she's twirling a strand between her fingers, brushing it back repeatedly, or adjusting it while speaking to you, these are classic pining behaviors. Small instinctive actions designed to enhance appearance and draw attention. Think of it this way. When people are attracted to someone, they naturally want to look their best. Research in evolutionary psychology supports this, suggesting that women instinctively adjust their appearance when they experience a surge of attraction. It's why a woman might suddenly become hyper-aware of a smudged lipstick or straighten her dress while talking to someone she finds compelling. So, if she's playing with her hair every time you speak, especially while maintaining eye contact, there's a strong chance she's subconsciously signaling interest. Sign 3. Lip licking. The lips are among the most sensual and expressive parts of the human body. They're tied to attraction in ways you might not even realize. If a woman subtly licks or moistens her lips while looking at you, it's far from random. It's often an unconscious signal of desire. Imagine mid-con conversation. She suddenly licks her lips just for a split second while holding your gaze. That's a micro-expression, a brief, involuntary movement that reveals what someone is feeling before they even know it themselves. Why does this happen? Attraction triggers physiological responses. When a woman finds someone attractive, her body prepares for connection. One of the things that occurs is increased saliva production, or conversely, a dry mouth from nervousness. A study published in the Journal of Behavioral Psychology explains that our mouths naturally become drier when we're excited or anxious, prompting us to lick our lips more often. But context matters immensely. If she licks her lips while talking to you, glances at your lips as you speak, or lightly bites her lower lip, she's not just keeping them moisturized, she's signaling that she's tuned into you in a way that goes far beyond casual conversation. Sign 4, mirroring your body language. Most people don't even realize they're doing this, but mirroring is one of the most powerful nonverbal ways we build connection with someone. It's an instinctive way of saying, I'm on the same wavelength as you. You lean in slightly while speaking. She does the same. You cross your legs. Moments later, she crosses hers. You take a sip of your drink. Suddenly, she reaches for hers, too. This is called the chameleon effect, a phenomenon where people unconsciously mimic the behavior of someone they're attracted to. Why does this happen? Because mirroring builds trust and rapport. Research in social psychology has shown that people are more likely to feel comfortable and engaged with those who reflect their movements, speech patterns, or energy levels. Think about the last time you had a conversation with someone you really clicked with. Chances are you started adopting similar gestures and even facial expressions without realizing it. The same thing happens when a woman is interested in you. So, if you start noticing her subtly matching your movements, take it as a strong sign that she's tuned into you more than anyone else in the room. Sign 5, exposing the neck. The neck is one of the most delicate and vulnerable areas of the body, and when a woman exposes it around you, whether consciously or unconsciously, it can be a powerful indicator of attraction. Have you ever noticed a woman tilting her head slightly while talking to you? Maybe she runs her fingers along her collarbone, plays with a necklace, or gently touches the side of her neck. These small instinctive movements aren't random. They're subtle signals of openness and trust. From an evolutionary perspective, exposing the neck is a subconscious way of signaling femininity and vulnerability. It's the same reason people naturally tilt their heads when they're deeply engaged in a conversation. It creates an inviting, approachable presence. Psychologists suggest that these gestures stem from pining behaviors designed to draw attention in a subtle but effective way. If she's doing this while looking at you or during key moments in your conversation, it's likely a sign that she's comfortable and interested. Before we proceed, if you're finding value in this content, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to SIL Love Coded. Your support helps us grow and makes you an integral part of our journey. We deeply appreciate your contribution. Now, let's return to our discussion. Sign 6, positioning herself closer. This is one of the most overlooked signs because it happens so naturally. When a woman is drawn to someone, she'll unconsciously find ways to shrink the physical space between you. Snorts. You're at a social gathering, standing in a group. Every time the conversation shifts, you notice she's right there, close enough that she could easily brush against you. She might lean in slightly when you speak, angle her body toward you, or find reasons to stand next to you instead of across from you. This is known as proximity theory, a concept in psychology that explains how physical closeness increases attraction. Studies show that the more accessible someone makes themselves to you, the stronger the likelihood of a connection forming. Here's the thing, people don't gravitate toward things they're not interested in. If she's choosing to position herself near you, especially when she has other options, it's not an accident, it's instinct. Sign 7, prolonged eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most powerful unspoken ways people communicate interest. A fleeting glance might not mean much, but when a woman maintains eye contact with you longer than usual, it's often a deliberate attempt to establish a connection. Think about the last time you locked eyes with someone in a way that felt meaningful. It wasn't just a glance. It lasted a second or two longer than normal, just enough to make you wonder if it was intentional. If she doesn't immediately break the gaze, or if she looks away and then back at you, that's a classic sign of attraction. There's actual science behind this. Dr. Arthur Aaron, a psychologist famous for his research on attraction, conducted a study where strangers were asked to maintain eye contact for just 4 minutes. The results, many participants reported feeling intense connection. Some even described it as falling in love. That's because prolonged eye contact stimulates oxytocin production, the hormone linked to bonding and attraction. So, if she's making eye contact and holding it for just a little longer than necessary, she's not just looking, she's inviting you into a deeper, unspoken moment of connection. Sign 8, open palms. Most people don't realize how much their hands reveal about their true feelings, but in body language, open palm gestures are one of the clearest indicators of openness, trust, and receptivity. Imagine you're talking to a woman and she's gesturing naturally with her hands, her palms often facing up. Or maybe she rests her hands on the table with her palms visible rather than tucked away or hidden. These small, subtle movements show that she's comfortable around you and, more importantly, open to the interaction. On the flip side, closed fists, crossed arms, or hands tucked out of sight. Those are classic defensive gestures. Body language experts suggest that when we trust someone, we instinctively show more of ourselves. Literally, open palms indicate honesty, warmth, and a willingness to engage. This is why great public speakers often use open hand gestures. It makes them appear more trustworthy. The same principle applies in personal interactions. If a woman keeps her hands visible and expressive while talking to you, especially with her palms open, she's not just engaged in the conversation. She's subconsciously signaling that she's comfortable, relaxed, and possibly attracted to you. Sign 9, playful touch. Touch is one of the strongest indicators of attraction. And when a woman initiates physical contact, even subtly, it's rarely accidental. Pay attention to the small touches. Maybe she taps your arm when she laughs at your joke. Maybe she playfully nudges you while teasing you. Or maybe as she's talking, she lightly places her hand on your forearm for just a second. These are all ways of testing comfort and creating physical closeness. Think about it. People don't touch those they feel indifferent about. If she's making an effort to establish casual physical contact, she's subconsciously bridging the space between you. Touch also triggers a chemical response. When we experience physical touch, our bodies release oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. It's the same chemical that strengthens emotional connections between couples. That's why even a simple touch, like brushing shoulders as you walk or a quick, playful push, can intensify feelings of attraction without a single word being spoken. But here's the key. Context matters. If she's finding reasons to initiate touch, especially in a playful, flirty way, there's a good chance she's testing the waters to see how you'll respond. Bonus, how to respond to these signals. If you've made it this far, you're officially part of the SI Love-Coded community. So here's your well-earned bonus tip. Spotting attraction cues is one thing, but knowing how to respond is where most men stumble. It's not enough to recognize the signs. You need to react in a way that builds attraction without overdoing it. Here's how. If she makes eye contact, hold it for just a second longer before smiling. A confident gaze followed by a subtle smile shows self-assurance without coming across as intense. If she mirrors your movements, slowly change your posture and see if she follows suit. This will confirm that she's subconsciously tuned into you. If she playfully touches you, reciprocate subtly. This doesn't mean grabbing her, just something natural like a light touch on her forearm when emphasizing a point. Small, confident gestures reinforce connection. If she moves closer to you, don't step back. A lot of guys panic and instinctively shift away, not realizing she's closing the gap on purpose. Instead, stay grounded, hold your space, and lean in slightly when responding to her. The key is confidence. Women respond to men who are aware but not desperate, confident but not arrogant. Attraction isn't about chasing, it's about recognizing signals and responding in a way that lets the connection grow naturally. Closing. Join the community. If you've watched all the way to this point, I want you to comment below. I see the signs. That way, I'll know you're part of the real community. the ones who actually pay attention and want to level up in their interactions. If you got value from this video, hit the like button. It's one of the easiest ways to support Psycoded, and it helps more people discover this content. Plus, it lets us keep bringing you high-quality videos like this every single week. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on notifications because we break down attraction, confidence, and dating dynamics in a way that's simple, practical, and actually works. Also, share this video with a friend who might be missing out on these signals. You never know who needs to hear this. We've also recommended the perfect video for you on your screen right now. Click on it and keep growing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.